Hey, my friends, I want to talk to you about what it takes to get good movies made. I worked over 26 years in Hollywood. I worked as a director, a cinematographer. I started out making models and miniatures. That's how I got into the business. I'm best known probably for doing visual effects. I did over 41 feature films, some big films, Terminator 2, iRobot, all kinds of films, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So, you're seeing a lot of garbage coming out of Hollywood today. Even the Oscars producing just garbage. I just started watching a few of these, and I can't believe how bad they are comparatively to what they used to be. And it's no longer an industry inside of Hollywood that is admirable at all. We all kind of know that, right? But now we're really seeing how bad it is. And online, I'm seeing just a lot of friends, people that are connections, that are just been out of work for a year. Some of them going on 2 years. A lot of big companies like Technicolor. If you've seen older movies, you would have seen the Technicolor logo in a lot of movies. They've went out of business just recently. And as it should be, because the kind of garbage that they've been producing doesn't deserve to have them be in business anymore. And I'm sorry for a lot of the people that worked in this industry and are having such a hard time finding jobs right now. But let me tell you what it takes to get good movies produced. It takes independent money, and that takes investors. So I spent a lot of years contacting churches. They're too busy buying their multi-million-dollar video walls and with their expensive sound systems that go up to 11, to quote Spinal Tap there a little bit. And they just don't want to talk to you. They're too busy invested in their business model, their corporate business that they're calling church. And so this leaves independent producers like me to go after investors, private investors. And it used to be a lot harder. You could actually get thrown in jail if you approached somebody for money. The Securities and Exchange Commission would require you to jump through all these hoops just to talk to somebody about either loaning you money or investing in a movie. Those rules have kind of lightened up a little bit, and you've heard of things like crowdfunding. But it still makes it very, very difficult. And for instance, first you got to find a great script, and there are a lot of writers out there, and the scripts aren't great. They're really not. I've read probably over 500 scripts in my lifetime, and I could say maybe one or two of them were really worth producing. And to produce a good message on top of that, it's even harder to find. If you can find the good scripts that could be successful financially, that would get audiences excited, that's one thing. To find good scripts that promote good values, I call them value-based movies. Before we kind of used the term faith-based movies. But we're seeing a lot of good things that have come along in the last few years. With Angel Studios, we've seen them help get The Chosen off the ground as a television series. And now Dallas Jenkins, he has had to change his business model, pulling away from Angel Studios to go into the cinemas where he can make money from the box office directly and pay for the production costs. And I think last time I heard he had 67 people full-time. And when you're doing a TV series like that, you got to keep them full-time because you don't want to have them be off for a couple of weeks and then they go off to another movie or another TV show and you never see them again. And you've got to replace that crew. So whether we're talking actually television series or movies, it's first got to start off with good writing, stuff that we want to produce. You know, it used to be for a while that everybody said, no, we don't want to produce sandal films. Okay, you get it, walking around in a sandal. But thanks to Dallas doing such a great job of really bringing rich characters to the screen, we don't have to worry about that anymore. He's kind of broken the mold, so to speak, and showed us that no matter what kind of film we're doing, if it's present day or if it's a sandal film of an ancient period, that if the script and the characters and the acting are good enough, that audiences will watch it. So this makes me want to circle back to discussion about investing in value-based movies. And this is not a solicitation right now. I'm just telling you what it takes so you can be better informed, and maybe you can go out and find people on the internet that have some sort of track record and are searching for people to help them make these movies financially, or in a lot of cases, like I've done, and I'll show you here in a minute with a movie I shot called A Prayer Warrior, that we get a lot of people that want to just contribute, that can come and work on a film and just contribute in kind of productions instead of giving us financial dollars. But that's very difficult to do. Investors out there, if we have a good package, we can make a lot of money for an investor. And yeah, most films, I think there was 4,000 films that went to South by Southwest Film Festival here in Austin this year, 2025. I think a lot of them are probably garbage. And I hate to say that, but just a lot of films are for different reasons. Subject matter, or they just don't have good production value, or bad acting, or bad scripts. So first of all, a producer like me, we need to find that good script, and I'm always looking for that. And if you're watching that right now, I want to know about your scripts. Now, the first thing I do is I'm going to ask you, have you had professional analysis done on that script? And what I mean by that is you've sent it off to a professional reader, a Hollywood script reader. And I hate to use the word Hollywood anymore. Let's just call it the movie and TV industry, because that's a whole different animal, is Hollywood. And we as independent producers are not a part of that anymore. We've risen up our own systems now. So you're going to have brought that script before somebody, and they're going to have to go through it and look at the structure. Does it hit the 3-act structure like you would have at the theater, beginning and middle and an end? Are the characters interesting? Does it hold our attention? Does it have a good payoff to it? Is it realistic? Is it something that people want to see? So that would be the first step, and that's the first part of what a producer does. The second part is, once we have that in hand, we are chasing after investors, okay? And that can be very tricky as well. It is easier now because crowdfunding and things like this, but there's a minimum amount of money. We don't need hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's where Hollywood went wrong. You can make a great movie for $2 million. Sometimes you can make a great movie for $1 million. Sometimes you can make a great movie for $750,000, because technology has changed now. It's made things very accessible for cameras, and we don't need gigantic generators for lighting anymore. We can edit our film on a laptop. So those things that took a large amount of crews before, we don't need those large crews anymore. Yes, we do need crews that all have their different departments, but they don't need to be as large as they were before. The equipment is not as heavy as it was. And there's a whole domino effects of crew members that are needed there in that capacity to handle all those things. But it is a lot cheaper. So whether it's a $2.5 million film, whether it's a $750,000 film, we as producers are always chasing down independent independent investors to fund us, not through a studio system. We may be having conversations with 20, maybe 50 different people. And as you can imagine, that gets very, very hard as you might get 50 people lined up to invest, and a couple drop out, and then you got to put everybody else on hold as you go and try to find those investors that just went out. And here's how our investors are. They're good for about 30 days. until the next shiny object comes along and somebody out of tech or some other industry says, well, I got this great new thing, and all of a sudden their focus goes that direction, and you've probably lost your money. And the churches are no help either. Like I was mentioning earlier, we went to 200 different churches at one point, and no, they're not gonna let go of those pearls that they're clutching onto. They're investors in their own business model that give them the stability of paying the mortgage on a building and paying that $700,000 video wall behind them, and that $300,000 sound system. And those are not exaggerations. I'm here in Austin, and I went around to the different churches, and the rock shows that they're putting on require a business model. And they require these people to keep giving, and they will not talk to outside producers. You might have heard of a church, and this is quite some time ago now, a little tiny church in a small town that helped this film get produced called Facing the Giants. And they knew that films, value-based films, faith-based films, make an impact for God. They really do. They make an emotional impact and appeal that gets out there to the audiences, and sometimes it gets out there worldwide. We have streaming now. I hate for a good movie project to go on a little tablet or a phone. It's meant to be seen in the cinema. That's a discussion for another time. But money can be made that way, and it can be returned back to investors so that the next movies can be made as well. And you're doing something great at the same time. So I'm going to give you an example now here. I think it'll be to my right. This is a film I shot many years ago. This was 17, 20 years ago maybe already. It was called Prayer Warrior. And this was an instance of me spending many, many, many years trying to chase after money. Talking to churches again, talking to independent investors, and finally I just did some of the movie on my own credit cards, and I had a young crew that I was teaching and training as students on how to operate camera and how to operate lights and how to operate sound and how to do costuming for us. And there were others that were not students that were just slow in the industry at the point, or they believed in the movie Prayer Warrior, and they came alongside us, and over the course of I think it was 14 or 15 days that we were shooting, they helped us out. People that were loved to build sets, they came and they helped us out, and people donated services to us as well. There was a great lighting company in North Hollywood that they donated lights to us that they would rent out. So if they had some downtime, we would work around their schedule. They would donate lights to us. And we went away, as you're seeing, probably hearing these behind the scene footage right now. We went out to a Christian camp. They had a creek next to it out in the middle of a forest, and we were battling mosquitoes and the heat and humidity and dirt and everything else. And people really were giving of themselves to make this film possible. We had another company, and here's one of the downsides of trying to borrow and have favors from people. We had somebody loan us a camera system that just kept going down on us and giving us perpetual problems. And in fact, as we got back into the editing and looking at this on a big screen, we found out that all our footage was soft focused. So that's a great example of why you should be getting involved in projects like this, or just this is an example, faith-based films, because we really, really need you. As you've gone out and you've paid tickets. I think, what is it today? If you've gone to the cinema, you're probably paying $14.50 per ticket, plus a family, plus concessions. You might be going into the cinema for $75, when you might want to consider putting this actually into making good films instead of giving it to Hollywood. So a lot of things can go wrong, as went wrong with this movie, Prayer Warrior. But at the end of the day, people were just very happy with what they did. They were pleased with what they were doing. God saw what they were doing. They saw their heart to give like this under some really tough circumstances at time. Making a movie is like it's like having to move a small army and siege something, because you have a group of people that have never worked together before. They come together, and boy, it's real tough that way. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to show you a trailer here at the end, or a scene from a trailer as what we wound up with, and hit subscribe. More so, I'd love to have you contact me. You can find me through unblindingfaith.com. And let's talk if you've got a heart for really helping out filmmakers to make faith-based films. Thanks.
I am Takara. I am here to teach you battle tactics using the example of the Naginata.
This is Eto Sensei. He's both farmer and teacher.
If you have the faith as tiny as a seed, you can move mountains.
Quiet, but being watched.
Where? Okay, but if you kill me, my mom's not gonna be very happy.
Ah!
You've got it all wrong. It's you that has to face me every day. And someday you'll realize that I am the one that's not alone.